that's significant coming up. And we're taking a look at the fall foliage map to see where those fall colors are and how drought may be impacting the colors.
Live on your side, First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
And welcome into Weather Extra. Tania, you were talking about the moon. Check it out.
It's gorgeous. I mean, a perfect night for sky gazing overall.
Yeah, it looks super, right? It's a super moon, but we're going to be telling you a lot more about this coming up. Matt has a great interview as we check out what's happening in the night sky, but Jamelyn Pound sharing this from Smith Lake, and I just want to thank Jamelyn for sharing this on my Facebook page, and also from Donna Sorensen over in Pell City sharing this on the First Alert Weather app. Nice little artistic view there with the tree in the foreground, but tonight the sky mostly clear. It's a great night for sky watching, but we'll be talking a lot more about the super moon here coming up, also aka Beaver Moon as it's called. But with any moon photos or weather photos, you can always share those on our First Alert Weather app. But if you have the app, you got the notification from us today. We have declared First Alert Weather Days coming up Monday morning and Tuesday morning for the first big freeze threat. We've had our frost, and even this week we've had some frost, but the first big freeze threat, and we're getting closer to that official end of the growing season. So watch it Monday and Tuesday, today, tomorrow, and basically next few days. We've got some nice weather during the day, so you may want to check around the house, find those faucet covers, and get those ready for early next week. But chilly mornings, comfy afternoons, scattered storms possible Friday evening. Now this is one of the next big things I'm concerned about. Friday night with high school, and we got playoff games, things like that going on. There could be some lightning out there. I'm not really seeing a major severe weather threat, but there's the risk for lightning we got to watch out for Friday night. But that has really, the focus has shifted into Friday night for the greatest chance of rain it looks like going into the weekend. I'm really not seeing a whole lot for Saturday other than some lingering clouds, maybe a few showers late Saturday night. And of course, we get into the really cold stuff early next week with those temperatures. But here's a look at some of the global data from the European model is showing there Friday evening. And I was looking at some of the lightning data from the guidance, and it does show the possibility of some storms in here and the risk for some lightning. This would be after 5 o'clock Friday, so anywhere from 5 p.m. Friday until around 4 a.m. Saturday morning for this first wave and this better coverage here of scattered showers and storms. But you can see a pretty good chance here. I can't promise everybody's going to see rain, but the chance is certainly there Friday night and into Saturday morning, so giving you that first alert. And again, we'll talk a lot more about what's on the way for next week and get you updated. Also, we'll check in on what's happening in the tropics. That'll be coming up here very soon. But over the weekend, I had a chance to visit the Heart of Dixie Railroad in Calera. Check it out. It's a great time of year for a train ride. And if you have never visited the Heart of Dixie Railroad Museum, you need to check it out. They have some rides coming up for the Christmas season, and you can schedule and get those tickets, but it's just so fun. I took Landon and Tania. We had a great time there. Of course, a great time of year to always check out. That was the fall foliage trip there, checking out some of the fall colors there in Shelby County. Again, that's at Calera, but if you do want to head out, check out some of the fall colors. Seems like right now they're really hitting that
right
peak.
Now. Listen, if you don't go now, you just might miss it, Wes. And so I want to let you guys know about what that fall foliage is looking like across the southeast. So let's take a look here, because I know that many of you are probably looking for an opportunity to get out and to be able to see those fall colors. Let's see if we can get this graphic up. Give me 1 second. I will go pull this graphic up. I thought my clicker was going to work for this one. There we go. Taking a look at the fall foliage across the area. Let's put it back on max too. Max, yeah, there, traffic. There we go. Wes helping me out here get our screens up correctly. This is the southeast, and you can see that right now between early November, mid-November, and late November across the state of Alabama, that's going to be the peak period to catch those fall colors. Areas to the north of our state are seeing those colors right now. We're talking about early November, and the further south you go, closer to the middle and end of November for those peak colors. Now, areas north of us have been seeing the peak closer to the end of late October. So some areas already past that peak but for us here across the southeast, we're enjoying it right now. So make those outdoor plans to go see those fall colors. And of course, be sure to check in with us. We'll give you more updates on when the best time to view them are. And though those colors are starting to pop, for some folks, soaking in the foliage may look a little different this year. The drought from this summer could be to blame. According to the U.S. Drought Monitor, more than 40% of the country was considered to be in a drought in early October. This lack of water causes leaves to turn brown and fall quicker than they usually would, making the beautiful yellows, oranges, and reds of autumn harder to find.
The leaves change color. We go out and we say, ooh, ah, how beautiful. And this year we're going out and saying, the weather is gorgeous. We're so lucky.
Leaves change colors due to the chlorophyll in plants dropping. This is a natural pigment that keeps plants green. Well, taking you beyond the atmosphere now, the full moon is as close as it can be to Earth this week, marking the closest supermoon of 2025. Supermoons hang low and appear big and bright on the horizon, especially just after sunset. Meteorologist Matt Daniels join us now with the weather extra on this phenomenon as he speaks with our friends from Earth Sky.
Well, tonight and going into tomorrow night, if you look up at the night sky, it's going to be pretty easy to see the moon. We got a full moon, but it's not just a full moon. There's more to it than that. We've got Deborah Bird right here with earthsky.org to tell us all about it.
Well, Matt, this is the closest and brightest full moon of the year.
Okay, so is it a supermoon, Deborah?
Yes, in fact, it's the second of 4 full supermoons in a row. So we usually get a clump of full supermoons over a period of months. We'll have one month, and another month, and another month, and we're in that period now for 2025.
So
But this is
go for it.
This is the very closest one of those 4 supermoons.
And exactly what makes a full moon a supermoon?
Well, I mean, the term supermoon, different people define it in different ways, but there's certain people that, that most people like their definitions. And basically, you could say that a supermoon is just an extra close full moon. So the moon's orbit around Earth is not a circle. It's an ellipse, which is like a circle that somebody sat down on and squashed. And so the moon always has a closest point and a farthest point from Earth every month. And the moon's closest point is happening just 9 hours after the moment that the moon is most full this month. So it's the closest full moon.
So is this moon that we're going to see, so when is exactly the full moon? I've heard terms that it was tonight, it could be tomorrow night. And is it the size of the moon or is it the brightness of it?
It's both. So in terms of tonight or tomorrow night, it's both tonight and tomorrow night, because for us in the United States, the crest of the moon's full phase, the moment that it's most opposite the sun and most full, comes tomorrow morning. That's Wednesday morning at 7:19 a.m. Central Standard Time. So that's, just early afternoon in London. It's just after midnight on November 6th in Melbourne, Australia. So the moment happens at the same moment for all of us, but our clocks just say different times.
So Deborah, tell us how bright this moon's going to be. You said it's going to be the brightest one of the year?
Absolutely brightest one of the year. It's going to be 30% brighter than the faintest moon of the year, which happened in April. So, it's like if you're a casual moon watcher, you may not have noticed that some full moons are brighter than others, but in fact they are. So some full moons happen when the moon is far away in its orbit, and then they're fainter. Some moons happen when the moon is closer to us in its orbit, and then they're brighter. And this is the very brightest one. So, it'll be really, really bright.
I'm looking forward to it because I know we got a clear sky tonight. It's going to be ideal for the night sky if you want to look at the stars and the moon. My last question for you is, I've heard different titles of these moons. I've heard it's a beaver moon. I've also heard it's a hunter moon. What is that? Is there a specific name for this moon that we need to know?
All the full moons have names. The names come from folklore. So we, the folk, get to decide. And so they are a little bit malleable. Like even over my 50 years in astronomy, I've seen those names change a little bit. And so the November full moon is the beaver moon. That's true. It's also called the frosty moon, although you don't hear that name. That name's kind of falling out of use. But this year, the November full moon is also the hunter's moon because it's the moon after the harvest moon, which happened on October 6th. The harvest moon is the full moon closest to the September equinox. And usually it happens in September, but it happened in October this year. So we had to wait until November to get the hunter's moon.
Deborah, thank you so much for this interview. Looking forward to seeing the full moon tonight and tomorrow. And of course, feel free to capture the moon through the with your camera and send it through the WBRC First Alert Weather app. Thank you so much, Deborah.
Thank you, Matt.
And as Jamaica continues the cleanup process, hear from officials as they try to get the island ready for holiday season.
Well, we're talking about some wet weather coming back for the weekend. Right now, it looks like Saturday there will be some leftover clouds and a few showers possible. I certainly don't see a washout for some of the events happening like the game over in Tuscaloosa Saturday night, but there is a 20% chance. Don't be surprised if there is a brief passing shower, especially towards the end of the game because we do have a cold front moving in. So we're just keeping about a 20% chance of rain in there. The big chill doesn't quite arrive, although it will be noticeably cooler. 60s cooling off into the 50s there later Saturday night. Auburn at Vandy still looks like dry conditions there for the most part. In Nashville around game time, and temperatures will be in the 60s as well, but trending a lot colder going into Sunday and Monday. UAB, look at these temperatures here down at Houston, 85 at kickoff time at 1 o'clock, 87 around halftime. So you're going to leave here and head back to summertime and there around Houston. But even down along the coast and areas further south, there will be some noticeably cooler air on the way. So we're going to be talking a bit later on about what's happening in the tropics, but right now I want to go back to Neil with an update on some tropical activity in other parts of the world.
Yeah, Wes, a typhoon sweeps across the center of the Philippines, leaving at least one person dead. Typhoon Kalmagi made landfall on Monday, the 20th cyclone to hit the country this year. Winds reached up to 93 miles per hour and gusts up to 115 miles per hour in some areas. Authorities say major flooding and power outages have displaced tens of thousands of people. More than 150,000 people were evacuated before the typhoon arrived. And in Jamaica, with the country's tourism season coming up quickly, local officials on the ground are rushing recovery and relief efforts. Fox News senior correspondent Eric Shawn has more.
Officials in Jamaica are scrambling to rebuild the island nation following Hurricane Melissa's catastrophic arrival, with the country's peak tourism season just 1 month away.
We definitely are doing everything in our power to respond as quickly as possible.
The Jamaican government was initially expecting roughly 4.3 million visitors to come this winter season, but it is unclear what that number will look like now. AccuWeather predicts that fully rebuilding Jamaica could take 10 years or more after Melissa left an estimated $22 billion in damage and economic losses.
Jamaica need help, man. We mash up first. We never history this in our life. First, we have to see this in life, man.
Aid from international governments, including the U.S., have been pouring in to deal with the devastation. State Department officials say the U.S. response to the hurricane is expected to be, quote, robust and effective. Farmers across the Caribbean are reeling from damage that has ruined much of their farms. Some in Jamaica fear it could trigger an egg shortage on the island, while those in Cuba will face challenges to an already fragile agricultural industry, where nearly 70% of the food is produced by small-scale farmers.
When I climbed through the yucca field, I felt like crying. In just 3 or 4 hours, everything was destroyed.
American businesses, including Disney and Home Depot, have already committed at least $1 million to assist with additional relief efforts for Caribbean communities. In New York, Eric Shawn, Fox News.
And coming right back to this map here, just showing you the view from space, and things certainly much calmer. There were some models that were suggesting that there might be a disturbance down in here that may try to organize a similar zone to where we saw Melissa take shape, although that system is well out of here. But there are no active systems right now. And as you know, towards the end of, the end of November, we're getting closer. We're marching towards the end of the hurricane season. The last day in November, that's it for the Atlantic hurricane season. But the chance of something reaching our area is very, very low at this point, now that we're seeing more of these cold fronts. That's sort of our protection this time of the year as it sweeps these systems out of here, but also as the sea surface temperatures start to cool. That's what really drives a lot of these tropical systems. But we'll be back to talk more about the extended forecast, that freeze alert coming up early next week. And as we head to break, we are going to be sharing some more of your photos. How about those views right there? Yeah, we'll have more, and the extended forecast beyond the 10-day after the break. All right, some beautiful moon photos coming in tonight, the brightest full moon of the year. Tyler Young at Trustful sharing this lovely view this evening, a crystal clear sky. Brian Carty in Birmingport. Now, one thing I noticed, you can just see all the stars out there. You know, this time of the year is so great for sky watching. You don't have that summertime humidity, so that's one good thing. Although we need a little bit of moisture, a little bit of rain, because we're in that big drought that we're seeing across the area. But a big shout out to our friends there in Birmingport tonight here in Central Alabama. Hourly forecast, temperatures dropping off into the low 50s, but overall, nice fall evening on tap here. It's clear sky, winds light southeast breeze. That's going to settle down. Very calm start again tomorrow morning, so the temperatures go way downhill again. I think for a lot of us, especially outlying areas, we're going to see 30s. So we did drop those temperatures compared to some of the models. Went a lot lower if you check our weather app, because those temperatures today, we actually saw temperatures go about 5 degrees below guidance. So these temperatures, they fluctuate so greatly because the ground is so dry. But tomorrow, even though it's so cold in the morning, notice in the 70s. Now, big question, will you need to protect the plants tonight? I'd keep those house plants indoors one more night. Just be safe, because especially north and east, we still could see some frost, but will improve nicely. You may want to set those plants out to soak up some sunshine, because it will be a beautiful day tomorrow with those 70s later in the day. And then the winds out of this west-southwest at about 4 to 8 miles per hour, so a light breeze. So with respect to yard work, again, another day where the winds are, you're not battling the leaves blowing around if you want to do some leaf cleanup tomorrow. But here we go with Friday. Cold front moves in, rain arrives Friday night. There's a concern that we might see a few storms there. So high school games happening, events Friday night, just know there is a lightning risk. There's scattered storms, not a major organized severe storm risk. But then as we go further into the weekend, some leftover showers possible later on Saturday, and then the colder air starts to roll in. We'll clear out Sunday, but wind chills tumble down into the 20s Sunday night and into Monday morning. A good chance early Monday morning, higher elevations of the Smoky Mountains could see some snowfall. So if you are traveling at the Gatlinburg, the mountains this weekend, there certainly could be some snow in the higher elevations by early next week. But we do have that first alert weather day going into Veterans Day. Not for storms, but the first freeze threat of the season, showing 31 Monday morning, 27 early on Tuesday, and then the temperatures start to modify by the middle of next week. But right now, as we go beyond that 10-day forecast, Tania, starting to see those big temperature fluctuations.
Oh yeah, Wes, that's part of the next big thing that we're following, but I don't think that it's going to be quite winter just yet. Although we have first alert weather days early next week, I do see some 70s in the afternoon trying to sneak back up on us, but I also still see some really chilly mornings ahead of us beyond that 10-day forecast. This is November the 13th, seeing some upper 40s across central Alabama, and it looks like some more 70s for the afternoon, November the 13th. That's a Thursday. And then as we continue to move forward, still seeing some chill in the air for the early mornings, a little bit milder there in the 50s. Around the 14th, 15th time frame. There's the 16th for your Sunday morning, November the 16th. And then we see some temperatures trying to reach back up mid to upper 70s, maybe some low 80s across the southeast as we approach November the 17th. That's also the chance that I'm seeing another possible front moving through, might drop some wet weather. So we'll keep our eyes on that. That looks like our next rain chance beyond the 10-day forecast. That's November the 16th, possibly the 17th, definitely some increasing clouds. We'll keep our eyes on it for you. And of course, we'll keep you well informed. We'll have more right here on First Alert Weather Extra. Thanks for staying with us. We'll be back after the break.
Well, it's that time of the week. We get to share some of your photos here that you sent in through our First Alert Weather app. And if you haven't downloaded the First Alert Weather app, I mean, it's what all the kids are doing these days. You gotta do it. You just scan that QR code or do an app search, and I'll show that to you again right after these pictures. Gotta show you George, good old George in Jones Chapel, Alabama. Kay Wilkins sent this in. That's a good old horse right there. He's just out in the pasture, taking it easy for the last days of his life and just having a good old time. So thank you very much. Look at this Aniana moon. It looks kind of spooky. I wonder if that was taken during Halloween, but Donna sent that in. We've had, if it wasn't a full moon this morning, it was close to it. So absolutely beautiful. One of the brightest moons we've seen so far this year. Let's move right along here. This is Venus. We had to zoom in on that. This is shared by R.J. Jones. We had clear skies last Saturday morning, and we're able to get a shot of Venus. A little speck there, but thank you, R.J., for sending that in. That's kind of cool to see. And then we have Maria Flanagan sent us in a sunset from the Hallmark Farm. It's right on up I-65. You probably passed it, but great looking sunset view. So if you do want to share a picture with us, you just scan that QR code with your smart device. It doesn't work with dumb devices. But with your smart device, just scan that or do an app search for WBRC First Alert, and you can be a part of our Weather Extra team.
Love those weather photos.
I do too.
Yeah, we had some great sunset views, and this kind of weather that we have this week is absolutely perfect for
It
that.
really is, and it's always good to smile with Mickey.
Yeah, it certainly is. First Alert for freezing temperatures next week. We'll see you tonight with updates at 9 and 10.